Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. It's great to see you guys again. It's been a while. I took a break because it's Christmas and it's COVID. Guys, 2020 has been a lot and I think quite a few people are now being hit by what people are calling the COVID war or the pandemic war, where you're just tired of it all. Like, you know you still have to mask up, you know you still have to isolate, you know you still have to social distance, but we are all tired, right? So yeah, I just had to take a break to recalibrate and also just rest, guys. It had been a very long and stressful year. Quite a lot happened. We lost quite a few people, both public and personal, and guys, I just needed a break. I also just moved back home, so I just wanted to enjoy time with my family and get used to being back in Bots. Guys, Bots is hot. Like, I grew up here and I know it's hot, and in my mind I know it's hot, but the reality of it, it's been quite an adjustment. I now have to drink water, not for fun, but actually to hydrate. So thankfully my skin is happy with that, but yeah, it's just been an adjustment for a few things, so that's why I took a break. So today we are going to be talking about what I learned in 2020. I've got my trusty little notebook. I wrote them down. I just had 5 things. I think, yeah, I narrowed it down to 5. They're going to expand, but I'll try my level best not to digress and keep to those 5. So let's get into the video. So, start off with number 1. Guys, discipline is important. And I'm talking different forms of discipline. Self-discipline, discipline of the mind, of various things, but we'll just cop it down to discipline is important. So this comes down to keeping to a routine, even though you're working from home, which is very difficult, guys. But after about 3 or 4 months, I kind of got the hang of it, which was great because I'm a creature of habit, so I really don't like my schedule being changed. And working from home was very tricky for me because at home we did not even have the setup of a home office or a space I could call my own. So that was very difficult for me initially in the first lockdown. In the second lockdown-ish, which is probably the second half of it, let me say the second half, I was now living by myself and I had more control over my space. So I could designate an area in the room where I have a desk, I have a chair, and that's where I sit and do my work. If I'm in my bed, I'm not doing any work, I'm chilling, I'm relaxing. Because when I saw myself using my laptop in bed, I'll just become like a daisical and I'll just not focus. So I thought it's much easier for me to feel like I'm in the office at a desk. It makes me more productive and it was more conducive to me actually working, or even now towards November when I was now studying and preparing for my exams. So that kind of discipline is very important. Another form of discipline is with my spending. Guys, because we were at home, it's either you were spending money on food or you were shopping online. And both of those things make my bank account very unhappy. So I had to learn how to be very cautious and very financial savvy. I'm happy to say that this year, still feels like 2020. I learned how to save so much better and I was very disciplined with it. Every month when I got paid, the first thing I'll do is take out my savings, then pay my bills, and what I have left over is what I'm going to spend the rest of the month. But I always made sure to take out my savings first and then pay my bills. Because that way I was able to build up a savings account that I did not touch until it was time for me to travel. Because I knew at the end of the year I was going to be traveling home. Well, I'm tentatively moving back home, but I kind of solidified that much later. But I knew I wanted to move back home. And in COVID times, traveling is probably about 2 or 3 times more expensive than now. And I also knew I would have to isolate. So I needed to have accommodation money, I needed to have fuel money, I needed to have COVID test money. And in Zim, COVID tests were ranging from about 60 to 100 depending on where you were going. So I knew I had to do that. But I'm happy to say by the end of the year I saved 10,000 plus pula, which I was so happy about with all the hustles that I was doing, because I knew I had to be serious about it and I needed savings when I came home because I was not going to be working immediately. So that's that. So I learned that if you focus and if you plan it and you're serious about it, you can do it. So please guys, within COVID, if you have an income, financially disciplined, because it will be very important. Which leads me to number 2. Having an emergency fund and savings is very important, guys. There's so many people who are losing jobs, or expenses are coming up that you didn't expect. And right now, traveling is 3 times more expensive, and then you have to travel home, God forbid, for a funeral of a loved one, or just go home, because a lot of us live in the diaspora and far away from our families. Some, it's even in the same country, but it's now very expensive to travel, whether it's internationally or locally. So you need a savings to keep you going, because, guys, anything can happen. You could lose your job, the company could go belly up, anything. So you need to be careful, and you need to build that savings fund. If it's $10 that you're putting aside, if it's 5, if it's 100 pula, whatever it is, commit to it and do it. And if you can, try to put it in an account that you don't have easy access to, so that you know that when you need money, you won't just take a $5 here, $10 here, because that's how you deplete it without even realizing it. So please, guys, build an emergency fund. It's very necessary, because anything is not possible these days, and not everyone can just come out and help anymore, because everyone is going through. Okay? Right. Number 3, guys, boundaries. Boundaries are very important. So I say this in the terms of, because we're all going through it, we're now living it. Either we're living at home with our parents, with our siblings, all of these other things. Boundaries are very important. They're not there to say, I don't love you, I don't want to be in your space, I don't want you in my space. Sometimes you need a break from people. It's not about, oh, I hate you, or I'm not family oriented, or I don't like you. No. Sometimes some people are used to being by themselves. So having people constantly around them is now a trigger for them, and they get very uncomfortable, which means they'll lash out or they'll snap. It doesn't mean that they're upset at you or they don't like you. You're just ruining their usual. So boundaries. And you must understand, when someone puts a boundary, it's not about you, it's about them. It's how they keep their mental health and mental space okay. So respect these boundaries and you'll be good. Because there's some people who don't know how to put boundaries and they feel very violated, and you end up having fights with people and you don't understand why you're fighting. It's probably because you disrespected the boundary. They probably also didn't know how to communicate it, which is another thing. You need to communicate your boundaries very well with the people around you. Because if they don't know that there's a boundary, they'll cross it and think, why are you mad? But you know that, and this is where I want you to stop. Please stop here. So communicate it to people. That way, even if they're unhappy about it, they at least know. So when you highlight it the next time, you're like, but we talked about this. You might not have been happy about it, but it's what I need to be mentally okay, so that we can communicate and commiserate. So yes, guys, boundaries are important, because that's how you manage your current health, mental and otherwise. Because if you don't, things can go left real quick. Right. Number 4, which leads to that, mental health is very important. I think what COVID has also taught us worldwide is mental health is very important. And we really took it for granted how important certain things are. Simple things like being able to go outside with no one stopping you, or constantly wearing a mask, or having to sanitize. Doing those things because they're not the social norm, cultural norm, just norm. We are kind of getting into very weird territory, and sometimes because it's not the norm, some people are hypochondriacs, some people are extremely lax about these things. But guys, COVID is real. And some people even have anxieties and all of these other disorders, which are mental disorders, but you don't have any physical signs of them. Please respect them. And please take the time to understand them. Don't just tell someone, ooh, I don't know that, I've never heard of it, so it doesn't exist. No. Don't discount someone's disease because you don't understand it, or you don't know about it, or don't know enough about it. Please, if you can, take the time to learn about the various different mental health disorders, because I think it's very important, and people are suffering in silence just because they don't know how to explain them. Please learn. If you have a friend or a family member or a loved one who suffers from these things, it'll be nice for you to learn about them on your own. Don't wait for someone to tell you. Please learn about it so you understand what I'm going through. It also makes life easier, and you guys will understand each other better, and some of the things you fight about will make sense and won't be a fight anymore, because some people, they get triggered by things, and triggered is a thing. So once you know what a trigger is, You will know not to do this, or at least avoid it, and know to apologize when you've done it, even though you didn't intend to. So please, guys, take care of yourselves and be kind to yourselves, because that's important above all. If you're not kind to yourself, you won't love yourself. Lastly, number 5. I learned that I am enough. You are enough. So many times we doubt ourselves because of outside things, self things, inside things. Guys, you're enough. You are capable of so much. And sometimes we only realize it when we've done it, that, oh my gosh, I could do this. Why was I doubting myself? You listen to the outside voices, or you listen to the inside ones. And most of the time, the inside ones are much louder than the outside ones. But the inside ones have learned from the outside ones. So it's just a vicious cycle. But please, you are enough. You have enough within you to do what you want to do. God didn't put those things inside your head for no reason. He knows you're fully capable of doing it, and if you set your mind to it, you can do it. There's so much that we take for granted, and we think, oh my gosh, I can't do this because I'm not smart enough, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not eloquent enough. Girl, there are people out there who can't even speak 2 words of English, and they're billionaires, just because they focused on what they were doing, and they made everyone else learn to speak their language. Make people learn your language, whatever it may be. Maybe it's the way you communicate, it's the way you speak, it's the way you do things. Make them learn you. Don't conform to other people's norm. You are enough. You are capable of doing so much. Trust yourself and believe in yourself, and you will go far. You are capable of greatness, and that's what I wish for all of you who watch this channel. And that's the end of this video, guys. Those are the 5 things I've learned this year. I hope they were useful to you guys. Hope they'll inspire you. Please take care of yourselves. Keep safe. Mask up. Social distance. And above all, love yourself. Have a great day, guys. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And become part of the family. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.